The most strategic person in the room is often the quietest. And it isn't because they have nothing to say. It's because they understand something about how meetings actually work that most people never stop to question. By the end of this, you'll know exactly when to speak, what to say, and why the quietest person in the room often has the most control. Let's start with the trap. Here's the trap most capable professionals fall into. You believe that being visible means participating. So you speak early, you fill the silences, you agree quickly to show you're aligned. It's an understandable instinct. You want people to know you're engaged, that you're smart, that you belong in the room. Staying quiet can feel like disappearing. But before we fix it, it helps to understand why we do it. Because over-talking is rarely about the topic. It's about discomfort. There are 3 quiet drivers. Silence in a room can feel like a threat to your status. We confuse activity with value. And talking honestly soothes our own nerves. Naming that is the first move. Once you see the urge to jump in for what it is, managing your anxiety rather than the meeting, you can choose not to obey it. Because in many companies, that instinct quietly works against you. In most meetings, volume isn't read as competence. Timing is. When you talk constantly, you're spending a limited resource, the room's attention, on your least important thoughts. And attention, once spent, is hard to win back. Think of a meeting as a market. Every person is spending credibility with every sentence they say. Talk cheaply and often, and your credibility inflates. Each word is worth a little less. Spend it rarely and well, and it holds its value. Scarcity is what makes your voice matter. To understand why, you have to understand what senior people are actually doing in a meeting. They are not tallying who participated. They're pattern matching for judgment. Leadership is constantly asking one quiet question about the people in the room. Can this person be trusted with more? And the signal they read for it isn't how much you talk. It's when. Early, frequent input tends to signal eagerness. It says, I want to be seen. Precise, well-timed input signals control. It says, I've been listening, and here's what matters. Those 2 signals land very differently with someone deciding who's ready for a bigger role. One reads as a contributor, the other reads as a future leader. There's a second dynamic underneath it. Every time you speak, you're either adding information or adding noise, and the people who talk the most usually have the worst ratio. The people who speak rarely, but land it when they do, build a reputation that's almost unfair. The room starts to lean in whenever they open their mouth because experience says it'll be worth hearing. So how do you become that person? You don't need to be the smartest in the room. You just need a rule you can follow under pressure. Here's the model you can carry into any meeting. I call it last, best, once. Last, speak later than feels comfortable when you can. If you wait until the discussion has developed, you're reacting to full information instead of your first impression. You get to be the person who synthesizes. In practice, when a question gets thrown open to the room, count to 5. Someone else fills the silence, and you learn where the real disagreement actually is. Best, make it your strongest point, not your first thought. Before you speak, ask yourself one question. Is this the most useful thing I could add right now? If it isn't, hold it. And watch how you open, because most people bury a strong point under weak words. This might be dumb, but I just think, maybe. Cut the qualifiers. Start with the point itself. Once. Say it clearly one time, and then stop. No hedging, no repeating it 3 ways, no trailing off to fill the silence. Say the sentence and let it sit. That silence after a strong point is not awkward. It's authority. Most people rush to fill it and dilute themselves. You won't. There's a quick test you can run before you ever open your mouth. 3 questions. Is it new? Is it now? Is it mine to say? New means it adds something that hasn't been said. Now means this is the moment it's useful, not 5 minutes late. And mine means it's genuinely your insight, not just an echo to be seen agreeing. Now, an honest caveat, because this is where people get it wrong. Staying quiet is a tool, not a personality. There are moments when speaking early is exactly right. Speak early when you have information no one else has. Speak early to protect a good idea that's about to get buried. And speak early when the cost of waiting is a worse decision. Judgment is knowing the difference. And if your meetings are on video, the rules shift slightly because timing is harder when you can't read the room the same way. On a call, use the chat as a tool. Drop your one point in writing at the right moment. It's on record, it's precise, and it doesn't have to fight anyone for airtime. Let me show you how this plays out. Picture a planning meeting. An eager analyst floats 4 half-formed ideas in the first 10 minutes. Each one gets a polite nod, and the conversation moves on. He's talked more than anyone. He'll leave feeling like he showed up. A colleague sits with it. She listens and she tracks where the discussion is actually getting stuck. And near the end, she says one sentence. It sounds like we're solving for speed, but the real risk is the handoff to support. Should that be the thing we design around? The room pauses. The director picks it up. That becomes the frame for the next 20 minutes. Guess whose name the director remembers that afternoon? Now fast forward 6 months. The colleague gets pulled onto a high-visibility project because leadership already trusts her judgment. The analyst is still working hard, still waiting to be noticed. It isn't always that clean, and effort still matters enormously. But reputations compound quietly, one deliberate moment at a time. That's the part most people never see. One more caveat worth naming. This won't hold in every culture. Some teams genuinely reward rapid, out-loud brainstorming, and in those rooms, going silent all meeting can read as disengaged. So read your room. The goal was never to say nothing. It's to make your presence deliberate instead of reflexive. So here's exactly how to use this in your very next meeting. Before you walk in, decide the one point you most want to land. Just one. Write it down if you have to. Clarity beforehand is what lets you stay calm during. During the meeting, hold it. Let the discussion develop. Resist the urge to fill early silences. That pull you feel is exactly the instinct we've been retraining this whole time. And if you've been quiet and want back in, use a simple bridge. Building on what Sam said, the one thing I'd add is this. It connects to the conversation, and it lands your point cleanly. Then deliver your point in a single, calm sentence. And if you tend to over-explain, this is the discipline that matters most. Say the sentence and stop talking. If you've been silent out of anxiety rather than strategy, flip the frame. You don't have to earn your place by talking more. You earn it by being the person whose few words are worth waiting for. This will feel uncomfortable at first. Good, that discomfort is just the old instinct losing its grip. Influence in corporate settings is rarely about being the loudest voice. It's about being the most deliberate one. The people who rise aren't the ones who filled the most airtime. They're the ones the room learned to listen to. If you want practical corporate strategies, not empty motivation, subscribe to Corporate Unlocked. New videos every Tuesday and Thursday.